and welcome to the PALS podcast mini-series, where we chat to the student services on offer at QMU. I'm Megan, and a fourth-year business management student and a PALS leader at QMU. And today I'm here with Chris from the Disability Service. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Megan.
So today we will be talking about how the Disability Service can support students and how to book an appointment and get in touch with the Disability Service. So there's no doubt that this is a core resource for many students at QMU. And one of the main questions I think students may have about the service is, who is the service open to and who can access the support from the Disability Service, Chris?
Well, that's a really good question, Megan. And the answer is anyone really, anyone who can provide evidence of a condition that impacts their studies and has lasted or is likely to last for more than 12 months. So that could be a whole range of things. It could be mental health, it could be an illness or a disease, or it could be something like dyslexia or dyspraxia.
Yeah, so that's also great that it's yet another service that can be used for mental health support. I think maybe that might be something that students don't consider, that support is actually offered by the disability services.
Absolutely, Megan. It's surprising what's considered a disability, but yeah, mental health conditions certainly be included in our understanding of disability at the uni.
So maybe a good thing to talk about is the specific support that can be offered by the service. So maybe just starting off in particular, the individual learning plan. So what is an individual learning plan for those that are maybe unaware of this?
An individual learning plan, or an ILP, as we like to abbreviate it down, is basically a list of adjustments that we make as a university to take into account the impact of any disability on your studies. So typical adjustments can be things like additional time for exams, and it can be extensions to coursework. There's also a range of other things that we discuss and chat about in LPs as well. It basically depends on the individuals. So if an individual has an issue that easily addressed or adjusted for, we like to try and put that down.
For someone's individual learning plan, once someone receives that, how does it affect extensions and assessment arrangements? And is there anyone that you need to tell about your ILP?
Well, when you meet with the disability advisor, we create an ILP for you. We put the arrangements onto the records management system here at the university. So things like extensions are automatically applied for, and the exam team has a copy of any exam arrangements for use of a laptop or use of a reader or scribe. So the student with the ILP doesn't really have to do much. What we do is we send it to the ADSC. We really love abbreviations. The ADSC is the Academic Disabled Student Coordinator, and that's someone within the department that disseminates the ILP to any academics that need to know about it. So once you create an ILP, no, there's nothing further for you to do really as a student. And just worth mentioning here that we don't put any of your medical information or anything related to your disability on your ILP. So we keep it as confidential as possible. So the academics and the ADSC can see that adjustments have been made, can't see why.
Yeah, so assisted technology, that's something that's also an option for some students, isn't it?
Absolutely. Assistive technology can be essential for people accessing university. For example, we can provide things like screen reading software for people with visual impairments, but it can be incredibly useful for every student. Things like mind maps to stay organized, and text-to-speech software to essentially read your reading material to you. And this is something we can chat to you about if you come and see us in the disability team. We've also got some assistive technology freely available to all QMU students. And you can find details of that just by Googling QMU and assistive technology.
Yeah, that's great. So I think the main point here is that there's lots of options if you need to access the disability service support. And I think when we've been talking to the other student services, a big thing that we've been covering is when students should get in touch. So, for example, for the wellbeing services, Louise was stressing that the sooner the better for getting in touch. So, is there a preferred time when students should contact the disability service?
Well, Megan, we would say the sooner the better as well. It would be really good to speak to everyone before their course starts. That's not always possible. And we'd also like to stress it's really never too late to come and see us either. Quite often students can be very aware of disability, contact us quite far in advance of the course starting. And sometimes we meet people who might have learned quite late on that they've got a diagnosis of autism perhaps or dyslexia. They might find out before here, and just to say it's never ever too late to chat to us about things we can do to help. Sooner the better, but also better late than never. So let's have two phrases.
Yeah. So never feel like you can't get in touch with the disability service.
Absolutely not. If it's your last day, that's maybe a bit too late. But other than that, we don't.
Yeah. So for any listeners that are maybe coming to QMU this year, what would be your advice to new students about getting support from the disability service?
Well, hopefully most new students who are aware that they have a disability will have marked on their UCAS form. We should have been in touch or will shortly be in touch with them. But if this isn't something you've done, please don't feel shy. Please either email us, arrange an appointment with Student Central, or drop into the Student Services reception. We'd be more than happy to speak to you about.
Great. So the other thing that is maybe unknown to some students is that there is funding for eligible students to cover the additional costs that they might experience due to their disability. So maybe that's something that we should talk about.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to talk about that. So we can potentially apply for funding called Disabled Students Allowance. I'm going to go for another abbreviation here. We shorten that to DSA. And basically, anyone from the UK or the Channel Islands can potentially apply for DSA, and we'd be really keen to help guide you through that process. And we can also apply for support to for anyone from the Republic of Ireland as well. And just to say that international students or students from the rest of the EU or the EU now, I suppose, not just the rest of the EU, anyone from the EU or international students, and we can meet with them and we can offer very similar support. So basically, yeah, anyone can come in and chat about additional support. It could be personal support, it could be technological support in the form of assistive technology. If you're from the UK or the Channel Islands, we can apply through DSA. If you're from the Republic of Ireland, there's another channel we can apply for. And if you're an international or EU student, we can also talk to you about that as well, potentially fund it through the university.
That's great. So is this something that you need to reapply for every year?
It depends. It depends where you're from, Megan. If you're from Scotland, you have to reapply from it. You have to reapply for it every year, but not if you're from the Republic of Ireland or from any of the other UK.
Oh, I see. I see.
It's confusing, but that's what we're here for, to help you through.
Yeah. Um, So you've mentioned confidentiality, and I can imagine that this might be a concern for some students. So could you expand on what the confidentiality policy is?
Um, I can certainly talk about it in general terms, Megan. We quite often deal with very sensitive information. This could be medical information, information from psychologists, psychiatrists, mental health nurses, information from hospitals. So we do keep that very, very secure. We store any information on a secure server, and that's only accessible to certain members of the student service team. We certainly wouldn't disclose that to anyone apart from the individual who it concerns, and we try and keep your information very confidential once we get it. For example, I think I've already mentioned your IEP. We don't disclose any details of your disability.
Yeah, so hopefully, if that was a concern for any students or a barrier for them getting in touch, that's put their mind at rest.
Hope so.
Yeah. Now that we've discussed what support the disability services can offer, maybe a good point to wrap up with is, how do students actually get in touch and make an appointment?
Excellent point, Megan. Well, as of the new academic year, there will be a disability advisor on campus every day. So one way to see us would be to drop into the student services reception and make an appointment. And we've also got drop-in sessions, the details of which will be agreed shortly. You can email us at disabilityadvisors@qmu.ac.uk, and you can also book appointments with Student Central.
Oh, great. So remember, if you would like to book an appointment with the disability service, as Chris has just said, to email disabilityadvisors@qmu.ac.uk. You can also follow PALS QMU on Instagram to listen to our other podcasts in our Student Services mini-series, where we chat to student funding, wellbeing, counselling, the Effective Learning Service, and the Careers and Employability Service. So thanks for coming to speak to us today, Chris.
You're welcome, Megan. Megan, it was a pleasure.